Chris Froome arrived on the start line for stage 1 relaxed, while the rest of the race was nervous about his presence, and they had good reason to be.
Still Boswell, and here we go. Chris Froome, the first man to attack.
On the climb to Mount St Leonard, Froome attacked and the race was blown away.
This is absolutely amazing.
The Tour de France champion was joined by his teammate, and although it was Peter Kenyak who won the stage, it was Chris Froome who did the damage. With Kenyak in yellow, stage 2 leaves the Yarra Valley and heads to Gippsland. Does that make you the most high-profile domestic in world cycling? Maui is the destination and the sprinters are optimistic. Today, it's Caleb Ewan who will be the most heavily watched.
It's day 3 of the Jayco Herald's Sun Tour. The riders now saying farewell to the Yarra Valley as we head into Gippsland through beautiful rolling countryside. And yesterday, of course, we saw a great battle with 2 of the world's best cyclists. Hello everybody, I'm Phil Liggett, along with me is Scott Crawley, and welcome back to our coverage of the Jayco Herald Sun Tour. Yesterday, Scott, the big guns fired from the start. I used it from the gun.
Well, the question was, were they going to go for it on that climb yesterday? And yes, well, the answer we saw at the end. It was an incredible display of climbing ability from Chris Froome in particular, but of course he did drag Peter Kenyak away with him, and those two combined so well to get all the way to the finish ahead of a rampaging group behind them, but no one was strong enough to bring them back.
Different type of course today. Yesterday we were in the high hills of Mount St Leonard in the beautiful Yarra Valley, but today we start to roll our way. It's a long way too, it's 144 kilometres. Different tactics, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Look for Orica Green Edge today because Caleb Ewan, he's a superstar sprinter. He's won so many races already this season, and they're going to try and set it up for him. Now, there is a hill 50 kilometres from the finish. It's fairly steep. It may split the bunch up, but it's far enough from the finish that they should be able to come back together if Caleb has been dropped, and I think we're going to see a fantastic sprint finish.
And there's still only a few seconds covering the top 30 riders in this race, and you get 10 seconds if you win the stage. Let's catch up with our man that knows all about the race, Pat Shaw.
Talking tactics for today, stage 2, we're in Yarra Glen, and I'm on fire with these tactics. Yesterday got it right, Will Clark took the risks in the prologue, and he won as well. So what can we do today? I reckon we're going to get a pretty aggressive start. Sky doesn't usually try to neutralise the break until they realise who's in it. Who's going to get in today? Will Orica put a guy there? We're definitely going to, and I expect Orica to chase it back for a sprint for Caleb. But hopefully Vespers is too hard, he doesn't make it over, and maybe our sprinter can get up for the win today.
Well, we'll find out. The riders finishing in here nearby Healesville, and a little journey on the restored Yarra Valley Railway brings you to the start today in Yarra Glen. 144 kilometres, and it's undulating all the way.
All the way down to Maui, it certainly is, Phil. There are 3 King of the Mountains points on the course and also 2 intermediate sprints. It's the intermediate sprints that have time bonuses on offer as well. When they come into Maui, then they do a 15-kilometre circuit at the end. It's getting windy, there's a hill on that finishing circuit, so it's going to be a tough finish. A rider up there as well, so it looks like that one has been neutralised.
Just on the right there, a restored motor coach on the Yarra Valley Railway, doing a marvellous job. All the trestles are all in place now, and that locomotive will take everybody one day between Healesville and Yarra Glen. The last 85 kilometres and survive to the end. We're into launching place now, and Jack Bobridge is still up front. There'll be a left turn here, and then we'll get on to the first sprint and climb of the day. He's got the gap though, and he's going to win the special sprint here, chain reaction points and a 3-second time bonus for Bobridge, so he moves up the overall. Upper Yarra, there's the secondary college. Yeah, well, hi everyone, and they're all out today because all the schools are along the route. Up overall.
He's not too far behind in the overall classification, so that certainly will move him up quite a bit.
The field now hunting Jack Bobridge. Welcome back to the second stage of the Jayco Herald Sun Tour. The Yarra Valley Grand Hotel in Yarra Glen was built in 1888 and is a landmark historical hotel classified with the National Trust. It's located in the town centre where the race has made its start from today, and of course it carries great pub food, accommodation and live entertainment. Well, we're being entertained now a little bit further along the road, about 40 kilometres, and we're picking up Jack Bobridge. He's made his move, he's still got 120 kilometres to race.
Team manager letting them know exactly what the time gap is, And now they're just coming into the beautiful spot of Powell Town, and this is where the first of the 3 categorised climbs starts.
If just to relieve the town, in fact, and this could be the target today of Koishi and Harper. Neither has scored any points in the Budget Forklifts King of the Mountains competition.
My Mitchelton diary entry for today is we're going to talk about a man behind the scenes. Well, Dan's our little trick in the back pocket, I think, because he not only pushes us behind the camera, he gives everyone an insight to who we actually are, so everyone gets to learn who we are, apart from just cyclists. But also he keeps us sane off the bike, because he's not a rider, so he talks about other things other than cycling.
Tell them about the band we've got in Girona, Mitch.
We're trying to start a band. That's one of the many things we're doing with Dan. He's trying to get us to dance on music videos. So I was probably the first person to dance on camera. I don't know how Dan got me to do it. It's our own version of Big Brother, and that's my diary for today.
The Tarawera estate is internationally renowned as an unforgettable wine tasting and restaurant experience. It's in the Yarra Valley, of course, and the riders have passed close by. Respect for provenance and sustainability is integral to everything they do. The estate, with its native bushland and waterways, is where they cultivate their grapes, make the wine, graze their cattle and grow produce for the restaurant. It really is the true spirit of Tarawera.
The Quarter Mentha Australian national team, it consists of the cream of the crop of the next stars of Australian cycling. Chris, the Hurricane Hamilton, he's the Australian under-23 champion and he's racing for the white jersey. Michael Storer, he's the youngest guy on the team, but the man that looks after them has looked after some of the best. Cal Evans, Simon Gerrans amongst them, he's Dave Sanders.
This little group here are phenomenal young fellas, all known climbers. We had 4 in the front group yesterday, and any time it goes uphill, these guys are going to be there. We are targeting the teams class. I believe we can win it with these guys.
I've never been in a young rider's jersey. I don't think I've ever been in any sort of jersey before. So yeah, to come to Herald Sun Tour and get to pull one on, it's means a lot to me.
He's a quiet achiever though. I think more than a hurricane. He's a bit of a sniper. You just don't know that he's there, but he's there. He's always going to be there.
It's been a massive start to the year. I definitely wasn't expecting. Well, for starters, like winning the national title, that was a massive deal for me. And then to get the call up for Tour Down Under, I was in awe.
And this looks like Lucas Hamilton here.
I believe he could have ridden top 5 overall in this race, but Chris will be there, I can assure you.
Chris is a really good guy to have on the team. He's a hard worker and it's really happy to race with him.
18 years of age and he's already mixing it up, and yeah, he's got a good future ahead of him.
He really has got a motor, and the more racing he does, the better he's going to get. He's a real class act.
Obviously everyone being a young rider, they all have their own aspirations, and we'll know sort of by the end of the week who we need to be riding for and what needs to happen, so it's good.
We're back with the Jayco Herald Sun Tour, and now tomorrow the race will restart from Traralgon, and this is Victory Park. It's a peaceful oasis located alongside the Princes Highway. You can take a walk along the Traralgon Creek. You can also roll out a picnic rug under one of the many beautiful trees. This is a stunningly beautiful park, especially at this time of the year. A piece of tranquility, which is more than you can say for the peloton right now, because they are under pressure. Too much of it. They're beginning to head down towards Moe now, and that's where they'll start the last big circuit of 15 kilometres, and it's there where the last climb lurks.
You can see there has been a regrouping. Peloton is twice as large as it was when they went over the last of the category climbs. And here's the GoPro vision from Damien Housen's bike. And just coming into the intermediate sprint, the second of the 2 in Moe. This is at the actual finish line. They start the 15-kilometre lap as they go across the line. It's Neil van den Ploeg picking up the 3 bonus seconds on offer in front of Jason Christie and Cam Bailey just behind. And just behind them is the rampaging peloton.
Well, there's nothing in it now. This last 15 kilometres is going to be crucial. There is a small climb on the circuit. It's unclassified for the King of the Mountains, but it could hurt the sprinters. The peloton now are really moving, and there is a massive crowd here. think the whole of the town has turned out to watch the race pass through. We'll be back again in about half an hour.
Take a hard left out of town, and now Christie taking the opportunity to go on the attack on his own. He's leaving his breakaway companions behind. He's a strong Kiwi, the current, or recently crowned, New Zealand National Road Champion. You can see the peloton hasn't come around the corner just yet, so it is a cheeky move from him to go alone with 12 kilometres to go.
It might be a brave move, and it could be a winning move, this 12 kilometres out. He sensed the other riders were slowing. He knows that the race is in full flight. This is a crucial circuit. And people like Caleb Ewan are going to have to hang in there now, and Ewan is in this group. It's no longer the full field. There's only a small amount of the peloton has regrouped here. Orica Greenedge has got to the front, so down this line somewhere is their sprinter Ewan.
Well, the big concern about this closing 15-kilometre lap is there is a bit of exposure out there. There's a fair amount of wind that has picked up towards the end of the day. We'll see if that plays a role as they approach that final hill.
Well, this is the inside of the peloton with the GoPro camera, but I'll tell you, they're right on his back wheel there, because here they come, and this is the charge here led by Team Sky, and there is the catch. We're about 9.5 kilometres from the finishing line, and just look at the speed now, because as we get onto the climb, this is the crucial part of the attack today.
Hopefully there can be some fireworks on that climb with about 10k to go, 8k to go, so and thin it out a bit, so we'll see what happens over the top.
Well, we can see what's happening, that's for sure. The crosswind leading up to the final climb, the race has been completely blown apart by Team Sky. Orica Greenedge are well positioned as well with Caleb Ewan. You can see him tucked in there, the little man. So he's in a good position here now. Jack Bobridge is riding very well, the Australian Road Champion. He was on the attack early, and he still has the legs to go with Sky as they hit this final hill.
Now this is a typical move by Team Sky. They use their men and they discard them. This is now Sebastian Henao, the Colombian climber. His job today is to keep the pressure on, crack this big field, maybe get rid of the sprinters as well. Chris Froome there with his head nodding as always. This is the leader, Kenyuk, and the grimace on the right there of the Australian champion. This is full pressure now. They just know the importance of hanging in on this climb, and then it's a run down to the finish.
Well, the rider that is hanging in, as you can see the chase group behind, this is Chris Hamilton in the young riders jersey, the under-23 classification. He's trying to get back up to that lead group. Jack Bobridge now on the attack, but Caleb Ewan is still there, so the fastest man in the race is still with them as they're going up this last hill. Bobridge looking very strong as he powers away.
Well, he told us he wanted fireworks on this climb. He's producing them himself as he comes up the climb now. Jack Bobridge is having a good day today as he gained time all of the time, and I think it's been realised by Chris Froome. Tanner Putt is in this group for the United Healthcare at the back. We've got two from Orica Greenedge, and somehow the sprinter Caleb Ewan is the third man in the line. This is amazing.
Well, Chris Froome hasn't quite got onto the back wheel of Taylor Putt yet. So it's been a big performance there by Jack Bobridge to get this group off the front. Jack Haig looking comfortable as well. Look over the shoulder there from Peter Kenyuk. He's not happy to go on with it just yet. He wants Chris Froome to get up towards them. And this is back with Damien Housen, the second group.
I'll tell you what, that's a superb piece of riding by the American there in the blue and white. That's Tanner Putt. But it's all the pressure here by the man who wears the race leader's jersey in yellow there, Peter Kenyuk. Now the champion of Australia puts in a big turn at the front. They're going to try and go to the finish, but they are taking with them the fastest sprinter currently in the world, in my opinion, and he sits there wearing number 1. They are 4 kilometres from home and all to race for now.
Now he's onto Bobridge. Look over the shoulder as well. Froome's giving him nothing.
Ewan was shouting at Jack Haig there, telling him to go, and as soon as he goes into the wind, he cunningly slips into the shadow of the other riders. Now he's got a big man alongside him, keeping him out of the wind. That is Chris Froome. Froome may have lost that leader's jersey in the King of the Mountains, but he's going to hold on to second place overall in this race. This is the big selection here as they race into the straight, and it's a big attack, and who else but the leader of the race, Peter Kenyuk, has gone for home, and he's outside a kilometre from the finish, and we must not forget there's a 10-second bonus for the man who wins.
Well, Caleb Ewan had to shut that one down. His teammate Jack Haig had spent all of his bickies chasing Bobridge, so when Kenyuk went, Ewan followed.
Now this is the finishing road. It is dead straight all the way to the line. And no chances taken there by Caleb Ewan. He immediately went after Peter Kenyuk. He is such a clever sprinter. He's done outstandingly well to even be in the sprint at this stage of the race following the climb. He's not going to throw it away now. Tanner Putt, the American, is on his wheel. He's about to get his best ever finish in this event as he's launched the attack. But just look at this now. When this pocket rocket launches, no one can get on his wheel. He pulls away from them all. They all realise he's untouchable. And that is his 8th win of the year and his 3rd historical win in the Jayco Herald Sun Tour. Caleb Ewan is home.
Well, this is the chase group now that's coming through. There were some time gaps in between those lead riders as well. But Caleb Ewan, what a performance. All the pressure was on the young man and he carried himself well.
Well, he's delivered. He promised he would deliver. The pressure was on him to deliver and he's done it. A well-earned drink there, but he's also gained a little bit of time, although he lost a lot of time too. The men who will gain time, I think, will be Jack Bobridge and Jack Haig, but they weren't in on the sprint. They were distant in the running to the line. As he came up to the line, it was a very clear win and a great result too for Tanner Putt. It certainly was. Here he is with Matt Keenan.
How important is it to you to be able to win a stage like that over that sort of terrain, in addition to be classified as a sprinter?
Yeah, you know, it's also, you know, a massive confidence boost knowing that, you know, in the harder stages I can still be strong enough to be there and win the sprint. So, you know, it just gives me a whole lot of confidence heading into the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of cycling. You never quite know what to expect of some of these stages, and it was just good that we were on sort of like the upper hand, I guess, and we weren't caught out ourselves. So now the boys did a fantastic job. We were just at the front covering the moves all day, and they love to race hard out here. Like the first 40 minutes was just full gas racing, everyone trying to get in the brakes. That was always exciting, and another good day in the office, really.
And 2 days to go, defending the yellow jersey, but the big one is Sunday. Clearly, you've got to be happy with the condition.
Yeah, really happy. I'm quite excited for Sunday's race, to be honest. Hopefully take it up on that climb, and either me or Froome, I'm sure we'll be up for trying to go for another stage one.
Congratulations on today.
Cheers.
Tactically, what was the winning movement, that crunch move?
Probably when I went at the top of the climb with Canal and Bobridge. You know, I think I really need to go then. Those guys were super strong and they've shown that they've been really strong this summer, and you know, to let them get any time over the top was going to be super hard to bring them back as well.
Well, what a sensational performance from the pocket rocket, the superstar sprinter Caleb Ewan. He can get over the tough stages as well. Confirmation, the only person to finish on the same time as he was Tanner Putt, and it was Bonifacio that led the chase group in. But what a big day it was for Chris Harper, picking up the Budget Forklifts King of the Mountain competition. 4 points in front of Chris Froome. He'd like to just get a screen grab of that and save it for sure.
And for the green chain reaction points competition, well, Peter Kenyuk gets the jersey there. He gets a 3-4 point lead over Chris Froome, and Caleb Ewan comes up into 3rd in that competition. Then a quick change because he's also the leader of the race. He has defended his lead yesterday, and he has in fact slightly increased his overall lead now to 13 seconds over his teammate Froome, while Jack Bobridge climbs from 8th place up to 3rd. Well, what a finish it turned out to be here in Moe. I think the whole town turned out. All the primary schools were given time out. A great atmosphere. And what they saw was a sprinter win the stage. But to win the stage as a sprinter, you had to break away with the best men in this race.
Wasn't a typical sprint stage at all, was it? It was very difficult towards the end with the winds and then that final hill. But Caleb Ewan, all the pressure was on him as well. All of the pre-race interviews were about him. He was the overwhelming favourite and he came away with the goods. He's more than just a pure sprinter. But what we're now seeing in the overall classification is everyone else now lining up for 3rd place overall behind the 2 stars from Team Sky in Kenyuk and Froome. Bobridge now moves into 3rd. Jack Haig comes up into 4th. So it's a real scramble for the best of the rest in the overall.
It is, and tomorrow, the weekend is upon us, 146 kilometres. We move across to Traralgon and we go down to Cape Patterson and into the finish at Inverloch. It's going to be pretty special. General direction is southeast and it's going to be battling all the way. The winds are now with us. We'll see you tomorrow.